A very good evening and welcome to the Makazi Stadium in Kashi in Uzbekistan for match day 4 of the league stage of AFC Champions League Elite 25-26. And this is a crucial match for both sides. PFC Nasaf looking for their first points of the competition after some near misses over the opening 2 match days. They were beaten quite convincingly 4-1 in match day 3, while Wahda can go to the top of the West group with a victory here tonight. Of course, that's before the rest of the matches in match day 4 are played. We've just had some rain around before kickoff. Perfect conditions, 11 degrees. And crowd building ahead of this one. It was close to a full house when PFC Nasaf last played here in match day 2. And they pushed the Saudi heavyweights Al Hilal all the way in a 3-2 defeat. It was Leonardo's goal 11 minutes from time that secured victory for the visitors on that occasion. So can PFC Nasaf at the halfway point tonight of the league stage pick up some points, remembering 7 points last time around was enough. So they still have time to get themselves into those top 8 spots to advance to the round of 16. The home side currently at the back end of their league season in Uzbekistan. They claimed the title last year for the very first time, which secured them a spot in the group stage of the AFC Champions League Elite. But currently they sit 2 points off top spot after a 0-0 draw on the weekend. Fargona leading the Uzbekistan league by 2 points at the moment, 60 points after 27 matches played. Nasaf sitting on 58, so they are fighting on 2 fronts at the moment in the league and also in the AFC Champions League Elite. So they have a very important final 3 matches there, while Wahda, they have just started their domestic season and currently sit second behind Alain. 2 points after 7 matches played. And they have started very strongly across both competitions, currently sitting in 4th place after 3 match days in AFC Champions League Elite. A special moment for all players. The AFC Champions League Elite anthem. So a crucial night for both of these two sides in the AFC Champions League Elite. No surprises. The PFC Nasaf coach, Rizikul Berdiev, he has decided to make some attacking changes for this one as they return home. He has restructured the back line. He will be hoping that their leading goal scorer this season, who's returned to the side, Norchayev, can add to his goal tally. 2 in the AFC Champions League Elite, 14 in the Uzbekistan League. 4 changes I mentioned from their 4-1 defeat. So goalkeeper Vorobay replaced by Nemetov. Ishmuradov also misses, while fellow defenders Golban and Mukhamadiev are out. So Cholovic, leading scorer Norchayev, and defender Gabalayev also into the starting side for the club legend, who is the coach, Rizikul Berdiev. Khalid Ultarais from Saudi Arabia, our match official tonight. There is the home side, you can see. Back in goal for them tonight is the regular goalkeeper for them this season in Nemetov. This is how the visitors line up tonight. Jose Morais making 2 changes from the team who accounted for Al-Duhail 3-1 in match day 3. So Krupski replaces Kao Canedo in the starting side, while Bernardo Fola comes into the side for Omar Kurban, who scored in that victory over Al-Duhail, and a big loss. The Syrian striker, who was the first Syrian to win Asian Footballer of the Year back in 2017. He misses tonight. A hug between both coaches. There is Rizikul Berdiev on the right. And Jose Morais, who was Jose Mourinho's long-time assistant, but now as head coach. He's won 2 K-League titles with John Book and a couple of Saudi Pro League, or 1 Saudi Pro League with Al Hilal back in 2021. So a vast resume in this part of the world. So the countdown to kick off here in Kashi. And we are underway in match day 4, AFC Champions League Elite, the West Group. And Wahda looking to go top against PFC Nasaf, who are the only team yet to register a point in the West region in this stage of the competition. So all to play for tonight. Wahda have been undefeated since February, and already starting brightly here, and some defensive responsibilities for PFC Nasaf. Here's the captain for tonight in Sheran. They have been able to score goals in the competition thus far. They've scored 3, PFC Nasaf. I should say 5 across those 3 matches, which was more than a couple of the sides sitting above them in the group, but just unable to turn them into results due to the amount that they've leaked. They've conceded 11, which is the most on the west side of the draw. Here's Davronov, the only survivor from the back line, from the side who went down 4-1 against Shabab Al-Ali away from home. Chirat feeding wide. Some space for Cholovic. And Chiran, the captain tonight. Ishmuradov out, and it's hung up in the air. That's quite comfortable for Al-Shamsi. Well, there is the PFC Nasaf coach, Rizikul Berdiev. Played 314 matches for the Dragons between 1997 and 2008, which is a club record. And then as a coach, the Uzbek Super League winner in 2024, four-time Uzbek Cup winner. He's also won the Coach of the Year 5 times. And there's Jose Moraes, the Portuguese coach who I mentioned before, Jose Mourinho's long-time assistant, but he's been winning trophies in Asia in both Korea, also in the Saudi Pro League with Al Hilal, and what a record his side have at the moment. Undefeated in their last 25 competitive matches. And in their last start, a 3-2 win over Al Nassr. Can his side continue the momentum tonight without the likes of Kurban? Such a reliable goal scorer for them. Already 4 in 7 in the league in UAE this season, and 1 in the AFC Champions League Elite. So they're going to have to find someone else to score the goals. Krupski has been a good outlet for them. He came in tonight. He's got 3 goals. Matov looking long. And Bernardo. Here he is, the man from Portugal. Clipped up the line by Zahir. And he's gifted it back to PFC Nasaf. Around the corner, it was a decent pass from Shala, the Albanian. And Nasraliyev down the left has been a good option for PFC Nasaf, but they've conceded the free kick. Just relieves a bit of pressure. Well, Berdiev's side, they did start this competition well. They led 2-0 against Al Ahly, the defending champions, but lost that opening match 4-2. Some late drama in that one. They conceded a couple of goals in stoppage time. A red card as well for Davronov didn't help. And then a 3-2 loss to Al Hilal and a 4-1 defeat to Shabab Al Ahly. But back home, home comforts for them here tonight. Can they turn it into a result? Jose Moraes' side, well, they don't really care where they go at the moment. They have been winning. And when they haven't been doing that, they've at least been picking up a point. Cut out by Cholovic. This is Mokitanov. Charan. Going to be a key man for Nasaf tonight. 6-time Uzbekistan Super League top goal scorer on the ball here. Made the move from Paktakor to Nasaf this season. Did Dragan Charan. Back at the club he spent time at between 2016 and 2018. Nemetov, the goalkeeper, has been part of the Uzbekistan national team recent squads. Part of that squad that qualified for the World Cup with that 0-0 draw against UAE back in June. Given away by Shala. Good industry though from Mokitanov. And earns his side the whistle. Shala making a good run down the left. Some space there in front of Zuhir, who takes him on again. This battle is going to be an intriguing one. Down Al-Wahda's right. And the left of PFC Nasaf, because he's already shown Adenashala that he's willing to take on Zahir. Scored that spectacular bicycle kick goal in their matchday 3 win over Al Duhail to seal that 3-1 victory. You can just see it bobbling up into the arm of Sharaf Muhikdanov. Ogbu. Nigerian centre-back who spent time in his career at Red Star Belgrade, the Serbian heavyweights, after beginning his career in his homeland in Nigeria. He's played every match in the AFC Champions League Elite for Al-Wahda so far this campaign. Krupski dropping it back for Pimenta. Bernardo Fola. And Golbani tried to work his way between the lines. The Iranian international made his debut back in March 2024, Mohamed Golbani. And a regular for Jose Morais in this Al-Wahda midfield. Well, nice link-up play. And Bernardo dropping it back and into the crossbar from Krupski. Still not out of danger for PFC Nasaf. They eventually clear their lines. But it was Facundo Krupski who scored 3 times in the league already this season, looking for his first in the AFC Champions League Elite. And you can see he is justifying the decision of his coach to replace Caio Canedo, the Brazilian, with himself tonight. Well, that man will be pleased with that moment. No doubt would have loved them to lead this match 1-0 early on, but at least they're creating the chances. So a shot across the bow of Nasaf. And Bernardo Fola. This is Jadsom, Brazilian, who joined Al-Wahda last year, playing alongside Golbani in midfield as Dusan Tadic drops it back for him. It looked like a good turn from Krupski. It may still work out nicely. Just hung up. Maybe a bit of confusion between goalkeeper and defender. The turn from Tadic. How's the footwork? It looked sharp. Nasaf under some serious pressure here. And they've done enough to earn a throw. Nasrullayev. Was that chance from Bernardo, and Krupski curling it into the crossbar, and then had a second bite at the cherry. Well, they've got talent everywhere you look, Al-Wahda. You can understand why they have been undefeated since February. The Clarets wearing white tonight. Here. And this is Cholovic. Nazralayev and Defranov. Driven forward, searching for the head of Shala. There was a bright outlet early on in this game for Nasaf. Been a little quieter of late as Wahda have just hemmed in the Uzbek champions. And that's a neat ball over the top. Here is Cheran. He has Shala in the middle. He tried to use Cholovic, and it all broke down for Nasaf. The flag comes up for offside anyway. You can see a bit of rain around today. Players won't mind that. The fans will, you sense. It was a cool night at the Makazi Stadium in Kashi at 11 degrees at the kickoff of this one. First match to kick off in match day 4. Overlap found in Canada, the delivery into the arms of Nazralayev. They look to release, and we'll learn a whistle here. Cheran. He's played all across the world as Dragan Cheran. Began his career in his homeland in Serbia. Played in Belgium and Israel, Azerbaijan, Saudi Arabia, Macedonia, and then making the move to Uzbekistan in 2016 with Nasaf before playing with Paktakor between 2018 and 2024, and then returning to Nasaf this season. Paktakor, usually the side that wins the Uzbekistan Super League, but it was Nasaf who achieved that feat for the first time last season. Currently sitting second in their competition, 2 points off top spot with 3 matches to play. And there's a lot at stake in the Uzbekistan Super League heading into next season, of course, with Uzbekistan qualifying historically for the World Cup next year. What a moment for the White Wolves. So spots in the World Cup side up for grabs in the early part of next season. Their league season runs in the calendar year, whereas in the UAE they've just started their new season. Cheran. Just didn't get enough on that crossfield pass. And Wahda. Here's Bernardo. Gorbani. Lucas Pimenta, the hero for Wahda on match day 1, 98th minute winner against Al Ittihad to steal all 3 points. I wonder how crucial that win could be at the end of the league stage. Cheran just slipped at the key moment, and Gorbani Sends Diarra wide, the former Huddersfield man. He scored in matchday 3 against Al Duhail. That is an expert intervention from Shala, getting back and ensuring he was up to his defensive responsibilities. Heading towards the 20-minute mark, PFC Nasaf and their restructured back line. 3 of their back 4 and the goalkeeper changed after their 4-1 defeat to Shabab Al Ali a fortnight ago in matchday 3. And it's looked pretty structured so far, just Krupski's chance into the crossbar. But outside of that, they've looked fairly well disciplined defensively. Wahda, as you would expect, asking the majority of the questions. Oh, here's some numbers forward. Opportunity for Nasaf if they can move it quickly. And the strike from range, it skips off the turf from Bakramov. Can find a goal. He scored in matchday 2 against Al Hilal. Did Sadobek Bakramov, and he tried his luck from distance there. And this was the issue here for Gorbani. Gave the ball away in midfield, and then it's gone down for his trouble. And Bakramov summed up the situation, and on a wet night, not a bad option to test out the goalkeeper. Rizakil Berdiev. No doubt will be happy with those kind of opportunities. They want to create more of them. 5 goals in their opening 3 matches in the AFC Champions League Elite. At home in the league, they've scored 50 goals in 27, so just under 2 goals a game. Defensively, though, the best side in the league. Just 20 goals conceded in 27 matches. See that kind of solidity tonight. He did keep a clean sheet in that most recent match, as frustrating it was against the Manga last week in that 0-0 draw, which has handed the ascendancy to Fargona in the league. So Gorbani still receiving some treatment. The thinking of his coach. There it was. You can see that left leg. He was clutching at the head initially. Looked as though that left leg just got caught under his body awkwardly. Bakramov was away. Shala, you could see to his left, was a little frustrated that he wasn't played in. There it is. It looks somewhat innocuous, but still Gorbani struggling. Began his career in his homeland in Iran. Spent a season in Russia and then moved to Al Wahda this year. And it looks as though he will continue here, Gorbani. He's just getting that head taped up. They've just split him. With the rain falling, all players just trying to keep the muscles nice and warm. A cool night, dipping to around 10 degrees. What a signing Dusan Tadic has been for Wahda. Two-time FIFA World Cup representative with Serbia, three-time Serbian Footballer of the Year, and he comes straight from Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League to Wahda. First season playing in an AFC competition. 111-time Serbian international. So it looks as though we are ready for a resumption here. The ball at the feet of Mohamed Al Shamsi, and the UAE international rolling it out to Ogbu. Mentioned Uzbekistan qualified for the World Cup. The UAE having to go through the playoffs. They take on Iraq. And if they get through that over two legs into the intercontinental playoffs early next year, so a big task ahead of them. And will well and truly earn that World Cup berth if they can get there. The United Arab Emirates. Dusan Tadic just leaving the throw, as you would expect. Wouldn't want to waste his talent on the throw-in. Lucas Pimenta, the Brazilian, who's now a UAE international, having lived in the UAE for 5 years, made his debut in 2025 as a fellow UAE international in Al Zahir. Berdiev just with some instructions to his side. First took charge of this side in January 2012 before he was relieved in May of that year and then reappointed a few months later, and he's been in the job since. What a record he has. 13th season in charge of PFC Nasaf. It's not often you see that kind of longevity in a coach. Just see that ball touching the arm. Diarra and Gorbani. There's that tape around the head after that knock a few moments ago. Zahir. Kicked around the corner. Bernardo, a willing runner. Zahir. And Gorbani. Jansom placing the cross in front of Krupski. Was playing more on the left when he came off the bench for Wahda in that 3-1 win over Al Duhail. He replaced Caio Canedo in the second half. More of a central role for him today, for the Argentine with Polish heritage. Pimenta. Again looking to use Zahir, but he just lost sight of the ball. Had he not, good opportunity for him to get in behind Nazralayev. Jadson. Just outworked there for a moment. It's been a real battle in the midfield this match so far. Neither side just able to find the upper hand. just dwelling on possession, but the free kick has been given, and he will be breathing a sigh of relief. Faivo Ogbu. He just was struggling to wrestle control of the football. Tadic and Diarra. 4 fouls conceded by Nasaf. They've certainly shown lots of industry, the home side. Would just love a moment of quality, like which we saw in matchday 3 with Rakhmatov. That cracking strike from the edge of the 18-yard box. Right now, though, defensively, Krupski laying it off. The deflection is going to drop on the roof of the goal. Applause from Jose Morais. He is happy with the way they are just working their way into this match, Wahda. They are mounting a case for the opening goal. Just before the half-hour mark. With a corner, Diarra standing over it. And it is the short option. Trying to send the Rakhmatov left and right, but he was not giving them a moment's peace. A little bit of frustration for Dusan Tadic. They were held scoreless the last time they travelled in the AFC Champions League Elite to Tractor, when they had a 0-0 draw with the Iranian Giants. And it took them until an hour to score in matchday 1 with Caio Canedo against Al Ittihad. So you can see the reason for that free kick. Just a little too eager. Stefan Cholovic. Fellow compatriot there, Dusan Tadic, both from Serbia. How is the quality on the set piece? The likes of Krupski there. Waiting for the delivery from Tadic. Gorbani should track this down. They will be able to recalibrate through Zuhir. It was really an aimless ball into the 18-yard box. And the throw the way of Nasaf. So I was mentioning before, Wahda are a team that has taken a bit of time to settle into matches, especially in terms of scoring goals. Earliest goal they've scored was in the 35th minute in matchday 3, the penalty for Kurban, but it's been quite the opposite for Nasaf. Early goals have been quite regular for them. Will bounce awkwardly. Got it away to Shala. And this will fall to Tadic. You don't want to give him that kind of space on the edge of the box, but instead of deciding to shoot, he was probably a little unselfish there. Maybe had more time than he thought. Gorbani turning. And Gorbani shaping to shoot. Blocked off. Spill there for Bernardo. Tadic shifting it to the left. And that is comfortable goalkeeping for Nemetov, who looked for the quick release, but it's straight to Ogbu. Just being penned in here, PFC Nasaf. They are turning the screws. Wahda. Tadic. How they pick up the ball, a chance to counter-attack and use the speed It is offered by Shala. And it was always bouncing and skipping away from the Albanian. Former Fenerbahce youth product. Then Shala in his first season with the Dragons. Tadic scoops it up for Bernardo Vola. Got away from Davronov. Space and time. Gorbani was arriving late. And the shift and shoot was always going high and wide from Canedo. Still Jose Morais. He's encouraged by what he's seeing. His side is posing all the questions at the moment. There is no doubt about that. Nasaf's only real opportunities of late are coming on the counter-attack, but they are becoming more few and far between. This is as good a spell as they've had for some time. The Dragons. Maybe some tactical tweaks for Berdiev at halftime. Have performed well in AFC competitions. They won through to the final of the AFC Cup, the forerunner to the AFC Champions League back in 2021. Well, this is a step up, AFC Champions League Elite. Make it through the group stage though previously in this competition. Delivery from Cholovic, cut out. And the header, a rather meek one to Al-Shamsi. A long release. Nervy moment there for Nemetov. And he swept out well the goalkeeper. And is there a problem here? The right angle of Davronov. He's the only member of the back line that has remained in this side from that 4-1 loss at Shabab Al-Ali. Afford to lose him. He is a crucial player. He was part of the Uzbekistan national team that won the Central Asian Football Confederation Nations Cup back in September, beating Iran 1-0 in the final. Diarra. And the cross is high. Krupski again, rising highest. He's looked the most dangerous for Al-Wahda. Shala. And the delivery decent from Nazrulayev. Shala with the back heel. This will be a throw here for PFC Nasaf. The volume rising around the Makazi Stadium. Sam will be encouraged. Ticking towards the halftime whistle. Here is the long throw. And it bounces awkwardly in the box. Turan goes down. Referee wags the finger. He says, no, you went down too easily. Meanwhile, a chance for them to break. Dusan Tadic, the ball was just moving in slow motion. It wouldn't arrive quick enough for him. Home fans wanting the VAR to have a look at it. And Turan still down in the box. This will be an interesting one. Did he cop an elbow to the back of the head here? VAR is checking for a possible penalty. Here it was. It doesn't look like a whole lot in it there from Ogbu, but he has rested the arm up on the back of the neck. It would be a harsh call to award that a penalty kick for Nasaf. But you have seen softer ones given, haven't you? VAR still having a look. And it's play on for PFC Nasaf. So no surprises there. VAR happy with the on-field decision. And Turan again not getting a moment's peace from Ogbu. Battle to watch tonight between those two. Between the six-time Uzbekistan Super League top scorer. The last 6 seasons he's been the Golden Boot winner. Not though leading the way this year, Norchayev, who's up there, jersey 18 tonight, with 14 goals in the league in front of him. Volume rises once again. Nasaf having a bit of period. After Wahda have been dominant for much of this half, it's the home side who are now posing majority of the questions in the shadows of halftime. Cholovic harassing and harrying Canedo, and Ogbu now under pressure. Home fans liking this renewed energy from PFC Nasaf. As the long release has found some space here. This is where, though, things could get a little challenging. It breaks down, though, off the head and into the arms, gratefully, of Nematov. But how often do you see it? One side has a great spell, and then at the other end, off the counter-attack, the other strikes, and that's where PFC Nasaf have to be very careful, because Wahda have threats everywhere. Not least the likes of Dusan Tadic, former Premier League player with Southampton. Between 2014 and 18, 3-time Eredivisie winner with Ajax. Diarra as well down the left. Here is Gorbani. And they have numbers forward. Men in the middle. And just couldn't find a teammate. Drop back to Cholovic from Norchayev. Overlapping run was a good one from Abdurakhmatov. Urge to shoot! What a strike that is! Well, they have been soaking up all the pressure in this first half. But it is the home side who have scored first in the shadows of half-time. And Rakhmatov with his second goal in this competition. putting the home side into a priceless lead. Oh, they were looking for some quality, and didn't they find it? Saddleback, Bakramov curling it around into the side of the net. There was nothing else Shamsi could do about it. And PFC Nasaf, after being under the cosh for most of the opening 40 minutes of this match, now lead it by a goal to nil. So some thinking to do for Wahda on the road. There is a lot of energy about PFC Nasaf now. So Bakramov's goal to go with that strike against Al Hilal in matchday 2. Hasn't scored in the league, but 2 in the AFC Champions League Elite. He loves this competition. And Charat. Look at this press from Nasaf. Well cut out by Azralayev. They've gifted it back to Wahda. So it is frantic in the dying embers of this first half. And that possession has somewhat evened up in the last 5-10 minutes or so. Cholovic. Akramov on his outside. He's going to be urged to shoot after that opening goal. Davronov. We should get a little bit of stoppage time. Did have that long stoppage for the injury to Gorbani. So 4 minutes all told to finish this first half. Do they have enough in the tank here to grab a second before half time? Nasaf, they certainly are showing a lot of energy. It's renewed life here, and the free kick is going the other way. Dennis Shala frustrated by that call. Wahda, they found a stoppage time goal through Diarra in match day 3. Now they get a free kick here. 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Launched long by Jadsom. Gorbani, down he goes. Cleared away. Deflection favouring Abdurakhmatov, who was hoping that Norchayev could control his pass. So the team bottom of the West group coming into this one. PFC Nasaf, they needed a victory in match day 4. They needed something to get themselves up and running. Remember, 7 points, probably the magic number. Well, 3 would be like gold tonight for the Uzbekistan Super League defending champions. Cholovic, Abdurakhmatov. And you'd have to say thus far the way that Ruzakul Berdiev has reconstructed his backline. And that defeat in match day 3, it has worked wonders so far. Shala. Tadic. They certainly have the quality to work their way back into this match. We've seen that so far, but they just couldn't take their chances in the opening half hour. Dusan Tadic's side, and that's why they are in this predicament. Jose Moraes looking at how structurally he can change things in the second half. He's got the magnetic whiteboard out. Pimenta, no stranger to a goal in this year's AFC Champions League Elite. Swings it across. Gorbani. Pimenta. And Tadic, a heavy touch under pressure. Ogbu. And Diarra taking on Abdurakhmatov, who earns it back for PFC Nasaf. So they'll just want to get themselves to half-time, you feel, with their lead intact. Just seconds remaining, but Wahda, they're trying to produce one final chance. So here, again the press working for Nasaf. And you feel like that will do us for the opening half. Ruzikul Berdiev, very proud of his side's first half performance. They soaked up all the pressure in the soaking rain here at the Makazi Stadium in Kashi. And it was a splendid strike from Sadobek Bakramov, which put them in front in the shadows of half-time. What is virtually a must-win match for them against one of the heavyweights in this competition from the UAE, Wahda. Half-time at the Makazi Stadium. It is PCF Nasaf 1, Wahda 0. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Makazi Stadium. PFC Nasaf up against Wahda. And we are back underway in the second 45 minutes. What a crucial 45 minutes we have ahead of us. Nasaf looking to hold on to this one-goal lead and secure their first points in this season's AFC Champions League Elite. Well, Wahda, they have not been defeated in 25 competitive matches. It was back in February, the last time they were defeated. So it would be some kind of upset if the team at the bottom of the West region defeated Wahda. And it just feels like that kind of night maybe for Rizikul Berdiev's team. Wet, cool conditions in Kashi, Uzbekistan. And a magical strike. Bakrumov. A strike that he will remember on this stage in the AFC Champions League Elite. I mentioned he hasn't scored in the Uzbekistan Super League this season in 19 appearances, but he's got 2 in 4 in the AFC Champions League Elite. What a time to score. Wahda, so much quality in this side. Dusan Tadic, Serbian international. He is going to be a constant threat. Krupski as well, came close in that first half. He's their leading goal scorer in the league. Yet to get off the mark in the AFC Champions League Elite. This is a bright moment for Chiran. And Cholovic, Abdurakhmatov. Well, that was a rasping cross from Abdurakhmatov right across the face of the 6-yard box. And the man who scored the stunning goal in matchday 3 very nearly set one up for Berdiev's team. Pimenta. In the corner for Tadic. Rice does like to keep pretty consistent with his starting 11. In that last match in matchday 3, kept his starting side out there for majority of the match against Al Duhail, so reticent to change too early. He believes the starting 11 have enough quality to fight their way back into the match, but it's PFC Nasaf who are just finding space between the lines to start this second half. Cholovic getting back onto the left. Abdurakhmatov again. Abalaev and Davronov. Certainly going to be tested out, this back four of PFC Nasaf. That is a short pass, and problems maybe for PFC Nasaf. Tadic to the left and right. He slipped at the key moment, Dusan Tadic. What a chance for Wahda to erase the deficit. And just as he looked set to plant and shoot with that left foot, this driving rain maybe just leaving the pitch a little slippery, and Tadic lost his footing. Is there a problem here for Nasaf? Looks as though he's good to continue. And Chiran. Cholovic. How is the cross from Cholovic? Cuts back onto the left. And onto the right, Cholovic. And Gorbani, it looks like a handball from Chiran. They know, don't they, PFC Nasaf, if they can get a second goal, how crucial that will be for them. There it is, left hand outstretched, clearly a handball from Dragan Chiran. The two number 10s today, gee, they are so crucial to the outcome of this match. Chiran, the Serbian for the Dragons, PFC Nasaf, and Dusan Tadic, the fellow Serbian for Wahda. Clearly you look at both sides, the visitors, favourites coming in here, but an away match. We saw how they struggled to break down Trapdoor in match day 2 in that 0-0 draw. And here is the set piece. And the delivery is a good one, and it's spilled through the goalkeeper. And it's Fivo Ogbu. 7 minutes into the second half. He scores his first goal of the season in the AFC Champions League Elite. And Wahda, rather softly you would say, are back level in this one. Frustration for the home team. Tadic put it on the mark, but Nemetov, the goalkeeper, he was Uzbekistan international, will know he should have done better. He cannot believe it. And it's a goal which can really suck the life out of a home stadium. Ogbu, who joined Wahda last season, he's now doing his defensive duties. The Nigerian defender, 21 years of age, who spent some time at Red Star Belgrade. And it's back to square one for Nasaf. And we've touched on their predicament in this league stage. On the west side of the draw, the fact that they sit bottom with no points coming into match day 4. And how important a win was today, even a point. They just need to get themselves off the mark. So all is not lost, sitting one apiece. They certainly have shown enough in an attacking sense that they can score a second goal. Right, it is a challenge mentally when you concede a goal like that. Nasralayev. The throw towards Shala, pinched back by Wahda. That goal will really settle the nerves that may have been building early stages of the second half as PFC Nasaf threatening to score a second. Davronov. And now with Mokitinov. Balayev returning it to his goalkeeper Nemetov. 14 clean sheets last season in their Uzbekistan Super League triumph, and 11 this year. So he's usually so reliable for Rizikul Berdiev. He didn't play in the last match day. His coach brought in the Ukrainian goalkeeper Alexander Vorobey. His second appearance of the season, but Nemetov restored today after Vorobey didn't have the greatest evening in that 4-1 defeat against Shabab Al Ali. Jadsom. No doubt a challenging night to be a goalkeeper with this consistent rain. And he will hold himself to very high standards. Cheran wrestles some space down the left. Mokitinov to Shala. Men in the middle, including their leading goal scorer in Nochayev. And they're going to win a corner as Caio Canedo is being readied. The UAE international. And that is a great delivery. And the header from Nochayev. Already 2 goals in the AFC Champions League Elite thus far, to go with his 14 in the Uzbekistan Super League. He very nearly had a third. Just over half an hour remaining in the Makazi Stadium. A wet Makazi Stadium, it must be said. Anything could happen in this final half hour. Cheran putting Ogbu under serious pressure. And they've broken free of the press. And now Wahda have some space to roam in. Popped over the top. Bernardo Folla just outwitted there by Nasralayev. Shala. Cheran in the middle. So to Nochayev. Neat 1-2 play. And Shala, this should be a corner, and it will be. So it's the home side. How often do we see it in football? Team that dominates concedes. Here's the delivery, Shaban. Deflection off a defender, another corner. Wahda the better side in the first half. Nasaf scored the goal. Nasaf the better side in the second. Wahda the goal, and that's where we sit right now. But it's the home side pushing for the lead. Nasralayev was a rather weak cross in the end. And Shala, well, it's a cynical one, but he had to give away that foul because he could not allow the space for another Wahda break. So Bernardo Folla, he's about to be replaced here by Caio Canedo. Played his youth football at some of the Brazilian giants in Sao Paulo and Botafogo. Moved from Brazil to the UAE in 2015 with Al Wasl. Al Ain, he spent 2019 to 2023, back to Al Wasl now. His first season at Al Wahda. Became a UAE international in 2020 after 5 years in the United Arab Emirates, allowing him to play for the national team. And he is a dangerous player. We've seen that already in this season's competition. A goal in the UAE already this season, and a goal in the AFC Champions League Elite. But again, they are defending here. It will be a goal kick though. So we tick into the final half hour in Kashi. Slip from Diarra at the key moment. And Tadic did cop one. Oh, free kick is going the other way. Referee saying it was Tadic who has given away the free kick, as though he got a little clip on the ankle. We'll just have a look. There it is. Gabalayev. So Bakramov's opener cancelled out by Ogbu. Here's equalizer 8 minutes into the second half. And as the group stands right now, Al Wahda with a point would move into second place. Preliminary standings at the moment, of course. Al Hilal, they have their match day 4 clash with Al Gharafa in about 3 hours' time. PFC Nasaf, they would stay bottom of the table, not with 3 points though. And the back heel from Norchayev just left a little short on Cholovic. 3 points would move them into the cusp of those top 8 spots in the group, which allow for qualification to the round of 16. With 4 match days remaining. PFC Nasaf hosting Tractor in the next round of matches. Al Wahda taking on Al Sadd. This is Cholovic looking to free up that left boot. Abdurakhmatov, good shape on the delivery, the arrival. Oh, what a chance. What a chance for Adenis Shala. He cannot believe he hasn't at least put it on target. Well, they were absorbing all the blows in the first half, and they should be in front in the second. PFC Nasaf. It felt like after Al Wahda got that equalizer that they had the quality to go on and chase the victory, but it's gone the other way. PFC Nasaf, all of a sudden, just continuing the momentum, because they had the momentum to start this second half. It was a goal totally against the run of play. The goal certainly hasn't dented their confidence. I hope that doesn't hurt the endeavour of Adenis Shala. Al Wahda with men in the middle, Tadic and Diarra. Krupski. Zahir and Krupski. Bring it back for Zahir. This will be a corner for the UAE Pro League side. And last time they had one of these, they came away with a goal. Second corner for Wahda. First brought a goal. Ogbu is waiting at the back post. That's where it heads, but it was a poor one. And the strike on goal as well, high and wide. So here comes some reinforcements for Ruzakul Berdiev. Three-prong substitution. Oybek Bozarov getting ready. Igor Golban and Yusuf Otobanjo. Otobanjo, the Nigerian striker, 2 goals this season. Charan replaced by Golban. Golban played in the centre of defence in their most recent match. That 4-1 defeat to Shabab Al Ali. He's been a regular for Berdiev this season, and Bozarov played 23 times in the league for a couple of goals. He's got the most assists in the Uzbekistan Super League for PFC Nasaf this season. 6 in total. Otobanjo can find a goal. He was signed midway through 2025 from the Armenian Premier League side Punic, where he scored 52 goals in 86 matches. He scored 2 in 7 in the league. So Otobanjo, a man who can find a goal. This is Diarra, tricking his way through the defence and pinched off the toes. And a strike which has stung the palms of the goalkeeper, Nematov. Much more difficult save, you would say, than the one he conceded. It was fired out of a cannon of Canedo. So the Wahda substitute having an immediate impact. Ruzakul Berdiev will be hoping that his changes have a similar kind of impact. This is Diarra, floating it towards the back post. And the goal scorer, Bakramov. Maybe just dwelled on possession a little too long. Well, he's got away with it. He has won a free kick, a relieving free kick, you would say. We're just under a bit of pressure. Here's Caio Canedo, stinging drive. Gorbani. That was Cholovic. Gorbani just fell a little awkwardly. And the whistle going against the goal scorer this time in Bakramov. Going to get a little talking to from the referee. Wahda wasting no time. And there he is, the replacement in Otobanjo. Looking forward to seeing what impact he has on this match. Wahda now countering. And Nematov up quickly off his line to claim. Well, can they use the pace here of their front line? Otobanjo moving more centrally, Norchayev to the left. And the delivery just slightly behind Otabanjo. Made life very, very difficult for him. Canedo down to the corner. Gorbani, was he collected late? It was a lazy one and a yellow card handed out to Cholovic. He will have to be careful now. Serbian, Stefan Cholovic. Apologises to Gorbani. Dangerous position, especially when Wahda have got the likes of Dusan Tadic in their team. Could it prove costly from the former Atletico Madrid and Red Star Belgrade youth product, Stefan Cholovic? These are the moments where previous match days have slipped away from PFC Nasaf, especially match day 1 and 2. Free kick. He's beaten away by Nemetov. It was not an easy one. And now Cholovic. Urged on by the home fans. Onto the left. Looks a little overhit. Well, it did look overhit, but that wasn't to be known. As you can just see that ball just knuckling a little bit on Nemetov. It dipped awkwardly. That's why he decided not to catch. You can totally understand that decision. Nasaf through Otabanjo, shifting left and right. Header away. A little far out for Bakramov to shoot on this occasion. Bozarov. And good hit deflection from Makitdinov. This will be a corner for Nasaf. Why not try it? Sharof Mukikdinov. He scored 6 times in the Uzbekistan Super League. Cholovic over the corner. Will get some good shape from the left boot, but he couldn't beat the front man. But Diarra is pressed. That's well in, very well in from Abdurakhmatov. He is so busy down this right edge for Nasaf, but his hard work there goes underutilised because they have now given away the foul. And Wahda, after having to deal with some serious pressure there, winning a relieving free kick. Can become a habit, can't it? Ability to get results in matches. Certainly been the case for Wahda. Undefeated since February. They worked their way back into this second half with the equalizer. Can they get the winner here as Tadic's ball is nodded wide by Canedo? You feel like he could be the man. Caio Canedo. Goal scorer against Al Ittihad in match day 1 to get them back level before Pimenta won it for them in stoppage time. A shift and a shimmy from Zahir. Spectacular goal in match day 3. Tadic, the touch. Tracked down by Canedo on the damp pitch. Zahir. Canedo. Krupski and Diarra waiting in the box, but they instead drop it back for Ogbu, who was their goal scorer. 8 minutes into this second half. Good pressure from Abdurakhmatov, not for the first time tonight. Slipped through Norchayev and Abdurakhmatov. Cholovic, Mukikdinov. Abdurakhmatov. Cholovic. And you thought there was a deflection. The strike was just not clean at all, but it was just a mistimed strike on goal from Stefan Cholovic, who has hustled and bustled. Just unable to find the goal to put Nasaf in front. Final 15 minutes of regulation time. So we are about to see another change. And it is Cholovic. And it was a tired-looking strike. And he is replaced by Nuralayev. One goal for him. The current Uzbekistan international was part of that squad that helped them qualify for the World Cup back in June with that 0-0 draw against the UAE. And tempers just flaring here. Rakhmatov, Dusan Tadic called over. The referee going to his pocket. And Diarra and Abdi Rakhmatov both going into the book. Referee having none of that. Wants to put a stop to tempers flaring immediately. Diarra and Abdi Rakhmatov. That's Abdi Rakhmatov's third yellow card in 4 group stage matches. Diarra's first. So here it was. There's a little bit of a half headbutt. Abdi Rakhmatov. Doesn't look like too much in it, but totally out of the blue. He's an all-action player, though. He has his heart on his sleeve. Does Abdi Rakhmatov. Gobani. This is Ruben Canedo. Oh, well controlled, and the turn from Krupski. That was quite unbelievable the way he controlled that off the damp surface, despite the slip. Didn't result in any kind of chance on goal, though. Oh, Jansen could be into some hot water here. So the yellow card starting to flow late on here. The defensive midfielder, the latest to go into the referee's notebook. There it was. As cynical as you're likely to see. Referee with no choice there. Over the top. Is there a little push in the back? The referee says it's just a goal kick. But the home fans certainly want more. They want the VAR to have a look at this. It was right against the byline. The ball was running away, so you would think the VAR is unlikely to say that it's a penalty for Bozarov. But it was an awkward moment for Ogbu. Almost pinched. Midfield by Bakramov. To Banjo. Diarra, absolved of his defensive responsibilities. He gets back and earns back possession for Wahda and continues the run. How about the fitness of him out there from the start to get all the way back defensively. Now hung up by Zahir towards Krupski. Tadic had time, looked to find Diarra. Again, he was probably a little unselfish. Pimenta shaped to shoot from distance. No stranger to a match-winning goal. Jadsom. And a tricky one for Nemetov towards that top corner of goal. Final 10 minutes. Jose Moraes is up and about. Unbeaten since February, his Wahda side. Despite their UAE Pro League season only just getting underway, that's 25 matches without defeat. Golban with the captain's armband after the departure of Chiran. Banjo dropping into midfield. Rakitinov to Abdurakhmatov. To Banjo. Utilizes Aloyev. Nice pass to Bozarov, but maybe just a little touch. Enough of a touch from Canedo. And referee says free kick here in midfield for Canedo. So a match that hangs in the balance with 8 minutes of regulation. There it was. Abdurakhmatov just leaving out a leg on Kaio Canedo. Rakitinov. Norchayev comes back towards Davronov. Gorbani wins the header from Norchayev, but it's the striker who links with Rubancho, and the referee playing advantage. Naraloyev. Space to the right for Abdurakhmatov, onto the left. And what looked to be a promising attack there for Nasaf comes to nothing once again. So Abdunazarov is replacing Abdurakhmatov, who has worked so hard. A yellow card, so no surprises there. 5 changes used by Rizakul Berdiev. So can the fresh legs of Abdunazarov help out? Yet to play in the league this season. Second appearance in the Champions League. Al Shamsi put under pressure. Big moment here for Nasaf. The turn from Bozarov. And the goal scorer. For a moment you thought it was going to open up for him again. Bakramov. Advantage played by the referee for Diarra. Just couldn't slip the pass. Gee, they had numbers forward. Free kick given. Anything further here from the referee? Tadic is saying, why couldn't we play advantage? Here is the tackle. No surprise, tempers starting to fray late on. He can't stand still at the moment. Jose Moraes. Nemitov launches long. Almost brushed off the head and perfectly into the path there of Nochayev. Three points, which would feel like gold here at the Makazi Stadium in Uzbekistan. Would pull Nasaf off the bottom of the West Group in this league stage of the AFC Champions League Elite. Wahda would go to the top before Al Hilal have the opportunity to return there in a couple of hours' time. Would all but secure their spot in the round of 16. A win here for Wahda. Even a point might be just enough based on the 7 points last year required. Hung up from the cross into the arms of Al-Shamsi. Confident grab from the captain. So a vast majority of those shots from Wahda coming in the first half. It's been Nasaf for most of this second, but Wahda really stringing together some chances late on. The frustration for Nasaf is how soft the goal that they conceded was from the corner. Ogbu's header slipping through the grasp of their goalkeeper, but they've got to put that out of their minds here. They've given it away. Tadic. Canedo. So while Ruzikul Berdiev has rung the changes, Jose Morais has been keen to not tinker too much with his starting side, just Canedo out there. They're utilising him now. Tadic. Here. It's going to be a throw for the UAE side. 2.5 minutes of regulation time remaining. Looks as though there is another change on the way. Might be Robin Deghan. Diarra down he goes. Free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box. Well, what an opportunity this is for the likes of Dusan Tadic. He's made himself a real menace in this second half. Diarra brought to ground by Abdul Nazarov. Final instructions for Ruben Canedo. Pressure on Nemitov in goal. So Tadic curling towards the back post. Gorbani's header. Canedo! He may well have won it off the bench for Wahda. The keeper could only parry it into the path of Caio Canedo, who has his second goal in the group stage. Is it a winner on the road in Uzbekistan? They have turned it all around from 1-0 down Wahda to lead it 2-1 in the final minute of the 90. The question is, will the VAR be checking any contact there between Gorbani and a PFC Nasaf defender? No doubt they will be running their eye over it, but Tadic put the free kick in the perfect spot. Nemetov could only parry into the path of Kanedo, and the UAE international was on hand to nod it home and make it 2-1 to Wahda. And the goal stands. It's heartbreak, potentially, for PFC Nasaf once again in this season's AFC Champions League Elite. 2-0 leaders in the opening match day against Al Ahly. They lost that 4-2. A 3-2 defeat at home last time out against fellow heavyweights Al Hilal. But they still have time to pull this out of the fire. Golda. They have 4 additional minutes here at the end of the 90. Naraloyev, he's gifted it away. Well, winning is a habit and losing can become a habit as well. And despite their strong performance in the Uzbekistan Super League this year, PFC Nasaf, they have just been unable to find a result so far in the AFC Champions League Elite, while Wahda, well, they have just found a way to get the job done. Late winner in match day 1, a draw in match day 2, a strong win in match day 3. Well, they also came from behind, and they are making it a habit, coming from behind again here today to lead 2-1. 1-0 they trailed in match day 1. 1-0 they trailed also in match day 3. 2-1 win in match day 1. 3-1 win match day 3. Same story match day 4. And they lead this one 2-1 with a couple of minutes of stoppage time remaining. As it stands currently, they will go to the top of the West Group. AFC Champions League Elite 25-26. Which pretty much will secure their spot in the round of 16. No doubt they will have higher ambitions than just the round of 16. They have to see this off though. This cross into the arms of Al-Shamsi. Just 90 seconds to see out now. The flag was up for offside anyway. And Al-Shamsi just launches it long. Well, the home fans clearly devastated with the turn of events. It felt like an upset was brewing. 1-0 leaders at half-time. Early stages of the second half, they had a great chance to go 2-0 up. But it has all turned around 180 degrees. Diarra, Kanedo. And the turn, Ruben Kanedo to try and seal it. They will have a corner to attempt to make it 3-1. In back-to-back AFC Champions League Elite fixtures. Well, the focus for PFC Nasaf will go back onto the league. They've got 3 matches remaining. 2 points behind the league leaders before they return in match day 5 to host Tractor. And Tadic, Diarra, Kanedo, and Jadsom. Zahir places it over the top. Goal ban away, but Wahda, for the moment, will go to the top of the West Group in the AFC Champions League Elite. They extend their undefeated run since February. 26 competitive matches without defeat for Jose Moraes' side. and they had to do it the hard way tonight. They trailed 1-0 just before halftime. But in the second half, goals to Ogbu and then Kaio Kaneda, who came off the bench to score for the second time in this season's AFC Champions League Elite, to ensure that it was the visitors who took home all 3 points. Their third win out of 4 matches in the group stage, to go with that draw against Tractor. And it is a very, very happy UAE Pro League team. And they will head back to their domestic competition, heads held high. A tough night for PFC Nasaf, who applaud their home fans. But no doubt they will be devastated after conceding that late goal to lose it 2-1 after the soft equalizer conceded. Dusan Tadic's men continue rolling in season 25-26. Full time at the Makasi Stadium in Kashi. PFC Nasaf 1, Wahda 2.